Tu Tien, I saw you with him, your ex, and I need you to tell me now, was it just a coincidence? Or is there something you're not telling me?
Jack, it's not what you think. Please, you have to believe me before you let this ruin everything we've built.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope your day has been calm and full of peace. Now, let's sit back, relax, and dive into today's story. A story of love secrets and quiet storms waiting to rise. The sun was sinking behind the quiet mountains. Shades of gold, soft orange, and faint streaks of pink spilled gently across the valley. The wind carried the scent of damp earth and wild grass, wrapping the quiet hills in a tender calm. In a small wooden house, perched above the dusty road, Mrs. Tui sat still at the old table, her sharp eyes fixed on the door, her fingers drumming impatient. The clay stove still burned faintly, smoke curling through the air, heavy, sharp, thick with the scent of burning wood, and old bitterness that never seemed to leave this place. "Where is that useless boy?" she muttered. Her tone cut through the silence, sharp as the edge of a blade, slicing the thick, heavy air in two. Outside, the sound of a motor faded. Moments later, the creak of the wooden door. Footsteps. Chiayan stepped inside, his shirt coated with road dust, his hair damp from sweat and heat, his face carved with quiet weariness, the kind a man carries when regrets have lived too long in his chest. "I told you to follow her, Mrs." Tui snapped, her voice trembling with an anger she didn't bother to hide. "Tell me, what did you see?" Chian froze, a beat of silence, then his voice came low, rough, a bitter. I saw them, Mom, at the farm, Jack and Tu Tien. He's building her a house, big, beautiful, bigger than anything I've ever seen." Mrs. Tui leaned forward slowly, her eyes sharp as a blade. "Then listen carefully. That girl, she's not just lucky, she's clever, and clever girls always want more. If you want a better life, you will find out everything. Where she came from, who her parents are, every secret she's tried to bury. Do you understand?" Chiayan's jaw tightened. "Yes, I understand." But as he turned away, his chest burned with jealousy, with anger, or maybe the ache of a love he thought was long gone. The memories came uninvited, the way her laughter used to fill their small broken home, the way her eyes once looked at him before everything changed. Across the valley, the world was softer, almost peaceful. Jack and Tu Tien walked hand in hand through the wide stretch of land that would soon be theirs. The hum of cicadas filled the air, blending with the distant splash of water running down from the hills. The soil beneath their feet smelled rich, alive, as if even the earth itself was ready to begin again. "It's perfect," Tu Tien whispered, her eyes wide, her hand pointing toward the far corner of the garden. "I want bougainvillea there. Maybe a small swing under the vines, somewhere to sit, somewhere to dream." Jack smiled, jotting every word into his worn leather notebook, as if missing even one would mean losing everything they had started to build together. And near the lake, he said softly, "We'll keep it wild. Lotus, water lilies, a bridge with lanterns. Something peaceful for us." She laughed then, her voice light like the mountain breeze, brushing gently against his shoulders. For that moment, everything was simple, safe. They didn't see the storm already forming, far beyond the hills. Later that evening, Chian's motorbike growled to a stop outside the old tea shop at the edge of the village. The sun was gone now, leaving behind long shadows and the cool hum of night. Mrs. Hai, her hands marked by years of brewing tea, looked up through the steam that curled from her kettle. Her eyes, small but sharp, had seen every story this village ever whispered. "Well, well, Chien," she said, voice low, knowing. "It's been years. What brings you back?" "Just visiting," he lied smoothly, pouring tea with steady hands, though his eyes were sharp, calculating every word, every pause. "Tell me, do you remember that girl Tu Tien?" Mrs. Hai paused, her gaze softening, a flicker of old memories passing like shadows across her face. "Of course, poor child. She was abandoned as a baby, left at the village gate with nothing but a towel, a single letter stitched into it. A.T. No one ever came back. She grew up here, quiet but strong, stronger than most." Chian's fingers tightened around the cup, the heat biting into his skin, grounding him in the moment. A single letter, a faint trail, but still a trail. He thanked her, voice steady but his pulse unsteady, and left quickly, his mind churning, questions and dangerous thoughts swirling darker with every turn of his wheels. The next day, under the blazing noon sun, the village market pulsed with life. Vendors shouting prices, children darting barefoot through the dust, laughter ringing through the heat. The heavy perfume of fresh herbs and wood smoke filled the air, mingling with the sound of motorbikes and distant chatter. And then, he saw her, Tu Tien, standing by a small roadside stall, her hair tied neatly at the nape of her neck, a plain shirt fluttering softly in the breeze, delicate hands holding a small packet of salt. For a heartbeat, the noise faded. Time seemed to stop. "Huh," Tu Tien Chian said softly, stepping closer, his voice heavy with everything unsaid. "What a coincidence." She turned, surprise flickering in her eyes, before settling into polite calm. "Chien, you're here too." "Yeah," he murmured, his voice rougher now, each word carrying the weight of old memories. "Just passing through. Thought I'd stop for some water. You look well." Her lips curved into the faintest of smiles. "I'm fine, thank you for asking." Silence wrapped around them, heavy, thick, filled with memories and questions neither dared to name. Then the low roar of an engine. Jack's truck came to a hard stop, dust curling around the tires, rising slowly into the heat of the midday sun. He stepped out, tall, steady, eyes fixed on her. "What's going on here, Tu Tien?" His voice quiet, steady but sharp, slicing through the air. Startled, she shook her head quickly. "It's nothing. I just came to buy some salt and ran into Chian." Jack didn't answer. He stepped closer, his hand sliding gently but firmly into hers, his gaze never leaving Chian's face. Calm, controlled, but carrying an edge, a warning, a silent promise that this moment would not be forgotten. Chi Hien smirked faintly, but his eyes were dark, unreadable, a storm gathering on the horizon.